everyone, so this is my second video that I'm making about angels. Just going to give you a little bit of a, I guess a sneak peek, or I don't know what to say, just some foundational things that I've learned about angels when I first started studying them. It is such a fascinating topic to me. I've been like kind of looking through it for the first 2 years of my life. No, that's not true. For the last 2 years, and there's so much that I've learned, but I thought maybe I'd share with you some of the, I guess the foundational things that I learned when I first started to, I guess, dive into the topic. Like I said in my previous video, I didn't really know much about angels. The only thing I really knew were just, I kind of had like this image of what it looked like, because I guess, in some of the books that I might have read, or I don't know, in that, I went to a Catholic school growing up, so we'd have like an angel here on the wall, an angel here, like something like that, you know, like it would kind of be everywhere, just like the images of them. So I kind of thought I knew what they looked like, but I had no idea about their character, like really what they did, like how they would impact me in any way, what they were doing for me, how they were helping me, guarding me, none of that stuff. So I didn't know anything. So I guess going into it, I was really open-minded. I really wanted to learn as much as I could. I wanted to learn from basically scratch. I didn't want to even have like this image of what I thought they were like. I just wanted to take exactly what scripture said and just go with it and see what came up for me. So here are some foundational stuff that I have learned about angels, so I thought that I would share them with you. So the first one is that angels are created beings. So this one is pretty important. I want to say like back then, I didn't really think about were they created, were they not, but now after reading the scriptures, definitely they were created beings. They did not exist through time and time like the Father, none of that. It was more of, yeah, definitely created, and I'm going to show you where it actually says that in scripture. Here in Patriarchs and Prophets, Ellen does quote Colossians chapter 1 verse 16, but she starts by saying, the Father wrought by his Son in the creation of all heavenly beings. And then she quotes Colossians where it says, by him were all things created, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. So in that verse, that would include the angels. So another thing that came up as I was like looking more about created beings, both good angels and I guess the evil angels that fell, they are created beings, which therefore means that they don't have, I guess you would say, unlimited amount of knowledge. There are some things that still God the Father only knows and angels aren't even aware of, but not saying that they don't have. They're very smart, they're very intellectual beings, but they do not know absolutely everything as the Father does, and this is where you can find that. It says in Matthew 24, verse 36, it says, but concerning that day and hour no one knows, not even the angels of heaven, nor the Son, but the Father only. So there, that just goes to show like the time when Jesus comes, that is something that only the Father knows. Not even the angels really know about, not even really, the angels just don't know. They'll find out kind of when it's happening. So yeah, I guess God will be able to release that information when it's time, and yeah, then they'll have that knowledge. But at the moment, they do not have that knowledge with them, so they are not, they are limited in the knowledge in some things, but they are definitely very knowledgeable beings. Another thing that I've learned is that angels take an interest in human affairs. I think that this is really beautiful at how powerful this can really be when I really think about how angels are so invested in us. And when I just think about me, just me, and nobody else, to think that there are so many angels out there that are invested in me, who are protecting me right now, even as I'm like making this video, who are kind of guarding me, watching me, like writing things down, like they're so invested in what's happening. And there's something in the Bible that I read that really kind of like struck a chord with me, and it's in Luke 15 verse 10. And it says, likewise I say to you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents. Only one person. So that's why I said, like, even if I just think about me, not everyone else, like the amount of joy and happiness that the angels feel over just one person who is to give their life to Jesus or anything like that. It's just such a beautiful thing to know that they have that sort of interest. Something else that I guess goes to show that angels take a great interest in human affairs. I read something, and it's found in Counselors to Writers and Editors on page 140, and this is what it says. It says, the angels of heaven are moving upon human minds to arouse investigation into the themes of the Bible, which is really cool. A far greater work will be done than has yet been done, and none of the glory of it will flow to men. For the angels that minister to those who shall be heirs of salvation are working night and day. So they're working at night, they're working at day, like there's no resting, they're going for it, and they're really trying to spark interest in us, they're guiding us, like they're kind of helping us to, I like how they put it here, to move upon human minds to arouse investigations or themes of the Bible. So I thought that was pretty amazing to know that they're kind of, like even when I'm reading the Bible, like there's angels around me who are kind of guiding me and like kind of arousing my mind to like take out certain themes and certain things. And I don't know, it just sounds so beautiful, and I really like to just have my mind kind of like dwell on that. Okay, so the next thing I found so interesting and really fascinating, I have dedicated probably since, what year was it? 2000, well I switched my major, so it's probably 2013 and on. I've dedicated all of my education and a lot of my time to the world of psychotherapy and psychology, counseling, so on and so forth. So I hear a lot about emotions. I always talk about emotions. I hear a lot about them and thoughts and feelings. So when I really read into this, it stuck with me and I was like, oh man, angels have emotions too. That's so cool. I thought that was so interesting and so cool for me personally, because I've studied that for so long. And one thing that shows that they've had, you know, those emotions is actually in Job. And in Job 38 verse 7, it says, while the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy. So that shows that they shouted for joy, meaning they experienced joy and like such bursts of like happiness. And I thought that was really cool. And there's something else that I also read that I've mentioned previously that really brought me to tears, I guess, when I was reading, which one was it? The Story of Redemption. And I have it right here actually in front of me. And it says, good angels wept to hear the words of Satan and his exalting boasts. God declared that the rebellious should remain in heaven no longer. So, did I say good or gods? Okay, good angels wept. So they did also experience grief, especially when I guess the angels were, the rebellious angels were thrown out of heaven. The righteous angels, they did feel that loss. They felt that emptiness, the mourning, like the grief of the loss. Like they used to like, you know, worship God together, like side by side, like holding hands per se, you know what I mean? And now like these beings that they were with for so long, they got separated. So there's that grief and there's that loss and like that mourning of it. Like I felt so much like hurt when I read that for the first time. That's another thing that's like struck with me, is like, again, their ability to feel these emotions were, I don't know, it was definitely something that triggered this desire for me to learn more about them, and it made it so relatable. But just knowing that they experience emotions like I do, it brought that sort of a connection for me to want to know more and to get deeper into learning more about them. Another thing, and this is the last thing that I learned that was kind of foundation to my, I guess, going forward and learning even more about angels, was that they guard us. So I guess growing up I always heard, you know, like, you got your guardian angel, you got someone that's guarding you. At first I didn't really know if it was true or not, but now I really do believe that angels are guarding us and they are watching us, and they are protecting us. If you go into Job chapter 1 verses 9 and 10, it says, doth Job fear God for naught? Has not thou made an hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? I believe that he is talking about angels who are there to protect him and kind of creating a hedge around him at that time. So that's kind of what Satan was like referring to. Like Satan even recognized that that these angels are, you know, guarding God's people, and in ways that we might not know of and that we are unaware of, but it's happening. And In Psalms 34 verse 7, it says, "The angel of the Lord encampeth around them that fear him and delivereth them." There was one more thing that was mentioned in, I think it was Matthew. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, in Matthew 18 verses 10. And Jesus actually said this. He said, "Take heed that ye despise not one of these little ones, for I say unto you that in heaven their angels do always behold the face of my Father." So even Jesus was saying that, you know, little ones have angels who are watching over them. He specifically says they're angels. So I don't know. It sounds like such a beautiful thing to know that I have protection, and the people, I guess the angels who are protecting me, they were the ones that, you know, they defeated Satan once, I guess you could say, up in heaven. So surely they'll be able to do it again. And they have such great force and such great power that, like, we have nothing to fear. And like I said in the last video, one of my favorite verses ever actually is in 2 Kings. And this is what it says. It says, "Fear not, for they that be with us are more than they that be with them." So I just find so much comfort in knowing some of these foundational things, especially when it comes to angels, and more specifically the things that they do for us. The fact that they can feel emotions like what I feel on a daily basis. Like, you know, my emotions can be very different in a span of just, like, you know, 5 minutes, like 10 seconds, something could change and I could feel something different. And knowing that, like, angels have that love for us, like they're fighting for us, and they're really watching with such interest to what is happening right now, and to everything that we're doing. And so I don't know, I feel like it is such an amazing topic that I would highly suggest that everybody read a little bit into, and to get a little bit more knowledge in that area, because it is so comforting, and it definitely helps in other areas of, like, my life personally. Like when I'm feeling anxious, knowing about angels helps with that. Like when I'm feeling really sad or down, or I'm grieving a loss of some sort, like knowing that angels are around there, they're going to be there to deliver me from, you know, the sorrow or the pain that I'm feeling, or whatever it might be, like in different areas of my life, or different things that I might go through. Even just knowing just what the angels do has given me such comfort. And then when you put that into the bigger picture of everything that God does for us, it's just, there's no words to describe it. I think it's so beautiful. So highly encourage everyone to, you know, go into the topic of angels a little bit more. If you're interested in learning even more about angels, you can go over to the Revelation with Daniel YouTube page, and there's playlists about angels, and you can even go to the website and you'll be able to find more information there. That's definitely somewhere that I went when I was looking into angels. Like, you got notes and you got all these videos that could really help, you know, guide you into like a nice Bible study about it. And I honestly, I could not stop watching, I could not stop learning, because it's just so interesting. So definitely suggest that as well if you want to learn more about angels and what they do for you, and their I guess role in the overall plan for humanity. It's quite amazing. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.